Welcome back to Pegasus Ticketing's final training video for this training series. This will be on future features. I've got Jeb Stewart here. He's our CTO, and he will be taking us through some of the new and exciting features that we're looking to bring to you in the future. So we've covered a lot. We've covered executive overviews, administrative overviews, customer service features, general usage. There's been a lot in this platform so far. Why don't we start with some of the new features that you are thinking about bringing to Pegasus Ticketing in the V2 or the near future, starting with setting branding from the web app?
Of course. So we'll talk more about onboarding later and what that looks like, but ultimately, this entire system will be white labeled to your business. What the customer is not going to see when they go to buy a ticket is some generic boilerplate ticket checkout system that has nothing to do with your brand and your business. It is a single one page, completely branded to you through and through, that will send them ultimately back to you so that this entire experience is yours at its core. And so what that means is that we need a way for us to get your branding from you and integrate it into our system. Typically, we handle that through onboarding, but in its current state, we will handle that through updates with direct communication. Simply let us know something about your brand has changed. We'll go in, update the application, and you should see the changes in a couple days. Ultimately, though, we're looking to create a portal within the platform for you to do this yourself. You want to update your colors, you want to update your logo, you want to update the images that show up in front of all of your ticket items and stuff like that, your products. You'll just go in there and, just like every other thing, edit, drop in the new file, save, and you're good to go.
Perfect. I'll jump in for a second here on this piece. Making your brand feel unique to you throughout everything that you're doing was really important to Pegasus and our mission to make one of the best POS systems that we could possibly build for attractions like yours. Allowing you to have branding that feels completely uniform throughout the entire guest experience, from your homepage to your checkout to putting in your credit card information, just elevates your business to that next level. And again, with Pegasus, you don't have to go with a Pegasus logo on top of a big checkout page. Make it feel like your unique attraction. Make it feel like your homepage so you have a seamless guest experience. And again, we'll help you with that. Okay, so we talked about branding from the web app. Let's talk a little bit more about defining your own reports. We covered those dashboards. They were awesome. How can we talk about future reporting and how we can possibly make that a little bit, again, more unique to your business and your business needs?
Absolutely. So while we've done our best to create the most useful and streamlined reporting system possible, we recognize that every business is a little different and has different needs. Every leader has a little different thing that they want to focus on and what they find the most valuable. With respect to that, we want to build that into our system as well. So in its current form, reach out to us. We'll work with you. We'll identify which reports are lacking, which reports need to be added, and which reports ultimately aren't providing you any value. And we can update the dashboard to reflect that. Moving forward, we are looking to build a full integrated system that taps into that same data set where you can define some of your basic reporting and just pull it in from yourself. Another feature we're looking to add with this whole system is scheduled reporting. So let's say you don't need necessarily the finger on the pulse style stuff, or it's a more convoluted report that requires more time and effort to generate accurate results. We can do that. We can set that up with our partner data team and work to build you truly state-of-the-art style reporting that can be delivered to your inbox on a regular schedule.
That all sounds great. And, I'd love to have the custom report functionality, but I do have to ask you, a lot of businesses say that. They say, if you need flexibility, if you need a more custom view, we'll help you with that. Yeah. How can I actually go through that process with Pegasus Ticketing? Say my business has actually sat down and we've said, we need to do X, Y, and Z in said report, and we currently do it. What does the process look like for working with the Pegasus team, and what does the approximate kind of timeline look like on something like that?
Of course. So I'll start with, what does the process look like? How do we kick this off? So every one of our partners we work with will be assigned a technical liaison. This person is your gateway to anything you could ever need with us. You simply ask them, like, hey, I'm having an issue with this report. And if they can't solve it themselves, which the vast majority of the time, these are technical professionals, they can. If it's a straightforward dashboard change, you'll have that in a pretty quick turnaround. 2 to 3 days is typical for a basic style reporting. And then for anything more convoluted, we'll just need to set up a meeting to discuss the nuance and the expectations for what that reporting needs to make sure that we're hitting all of the marks that you're asking of us.
Now, is that an additional cost? Let's say like I do want a different report here and maybe it is going to take a little bit of time. Is that an additional cost that I need to pay for? Is that a subscription fee that I need to pay for?
In this situation, it depends. Generally speaking, no. This is just a natural part of what we're offering through our fee structure. This is all with respect to basic reporting. If what you're looking for is AI projections, if you're looking for more sophisticated statistical analysis, that is a additional cost, as we will be working with our partner data science team to create a higher end, more sophisticated report. But before we get to that level, well, let's talk. Let's go see what the business need is, what the problem you're trying to solve, and see if we can't find an easier off-the-shelf solution that will accomplish the same thing without the additional cost and bandwidth.
So, in short, we're here for you and your team. We're happy to work with you on what you need in terms of standardized reports or maybe taking it to the next level. We can discuss scope and cost, but the one thing that we want to keep hammering home is you are not alone. We will help you navigate these reports and make your data the best it can possibly be. Now, I want to talk to you, Jeb, about inventory management. Is inventory management something that's coming in the future?
It absolutely is. So when we were looking at the list of features that we needed to have for this to be world-class is what we're shooting for. We looked at the markets that we were working with at the time and the problems we consistently faced at the time. And inventory was one of those things that we found to be nice to have. Now, for the right client, that's obviously not the case. For some clients, inventory is life or death, especially when it comes to like if you are consistently selling a small area and maintaining fire code and you do need to restrict how many people you're selling tickets to. Absolutely. Inventory is something that we are working to bring in the very near future. But we've also found in most cases that it is fairly straightforward to just not include inventory and sell the tickets that you need to sell.
Perfect. So inventory management is a future iteration that's coming down the line for the businesses that need it. For the others who don't, they'll keep using the standard Pegasus ticketing platform and not have to worry about that extra feature. Now, what about creating business logic audits? And why don't you start with taking us through what a business logic audit is, why they're so important, and why it's a feature that we want to unveil for our customers?
Absolutely. So this is one of those topics where I have to hold myself back for how nerdy it is. Business audits are just simply, does everything make sense? And how do I tell? And so like it sounds like, it's an audit. It's a system that checks to see the integrity of stuff. Now, what that stuff is depends wildly on the company, but at a basic level, let's say it's something like we talked about earlier, which is duplicate customers. We want to catch that thing early so we don't have this multi-million rows of customers that we can't extract any information from because it's so messy. There's so many copies of the same people. There's so much truncated, incorrect data. What we can do is we can create audits that look for patterns early on, bring them to our attention, and allow us to look into them and figure out solutions.
Now, you said we create audits. Is this something that, I'm the business here. Is this something my team has to do? They're manually doing these audits every month, or is this something that Pegasus will have built into the platform? How does that work?
Built into the platform. We have a lot of experience dealing with incorrect data and getting it into a correct state. And it's informed a lot of the basic audits that we build out internally as just part of our validation process for the platform. Those are the kind of things where just simply adding an alert mechanism to let you know when something's out of place is something that we are looking to offer as quickly as possible. With respect to adding to those, internally, we're already handling a lot of the integrity stuff. We've already built out the testing suites and the ecosystem to prevent a lot of the errors that could cause these kind of like miscommunications from data to person. But as for stuff that deals with real world integrity, where the numbers can be correct, the information on the screen is technically correct, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense with respect to the real world, like something like a person having 100 tickets. That's weird behavior that the system allows that because in theory, yes, a person can actually buy 100 tickets. We still can implement audits that are like, hey, this is weird, and just send it out an alert to the appropriate person who can handle this and follow up on it. Say, hey, did this person actually mean to buy 100 tickets, or did they mean to buy 10 tickets and hit zero one too many times? So that's where we'll work with you, and you can provide us instances of real world things that you've encountered with your business, because while we are going to understand your business to the best of our ability, you are the experts. You know this field better than anybody else. You know what the common issues are and what we need to watch out for. Our job is to take that knowledge, productionize it, automate it, and make it as simple for you as possible to catch it early, catch it often, and fix it quickly.
So in short, what we're building out is basically a health checking tool that allows you to automate the process for just making sure that things are okay. It's like having an extra person on your team that's just constantly looking through your data and calling out the things that don't make sense before they become a hassle for you and your team. I'm really excited to see these rolled out. We have a strong background in data science, Jeb and I. We've worked quite a bit with messy data sets. So having this tool built right in to give you a leg up on handling all the intricacies and all the inaccuracies that can happen with data is such a feature to implement. Now, finally, I want to talk about everyone's least favorite topic, and this is going to be IT, and specifically how we do IT a little bit differently here at Pegasus. Why don't you take us through creating a user, assigning some roles, and then some of the key features that make IT at Pegasus less of a headache and more of a real strength to have for your team?
Absolutely. With respect to IT, we've all been there. It's a pain. I work in IT myself, and as such, I know the struggle of a lot of these systems, a lot of these infrastructures. And I also know with working with external tools, how much of a pain it can be. Week turnaround times on even just getting the first email back to me. And I've taken a lot of my own personal experience with those and developed processes that basically erase a lot of the headache. One of the things that we do with Pegasus is that we have a dedicated IT person assigned to your account. This isn't some nebulous, offloaded afterthought. This is your person that understands your deployed system better than anybody. And so when there's something wrong or there's a change that needs to happen, they are equipped to, one, respond quickly to you, two, keep that relationship live with you and in a way where they're as supportive as possible. It's a face that you personally know. And three, fix it quickly. It's basically their responsibility to keep your system running smoothly at all times.
So I want to harp on one thing that you brought up there. You said they'll respond quickly. Mm-hmm. Go a little bit deeper in there because we've built an actual kind of framework for response times. Why don't you let our viewers know? What does that look like in terms of a quick response? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks?
24 hours. That's the expectation we have, and that's what our system is set up to capture. And what I mean by that is that we leverage a lot of our own internal tools that capture support tickets, capture contact information, feed it to our team, get it to the right person, get it in their hands effectively instantly. And then they've been trained. They know exactly what the expectation is, and they will reply as quickly as humanly possible with the expectation that it's within that same day.
So in short, don't worry about having to contact an IT person that just never responds, or you have a really big business issue and it's not solved for the next 3 to 5 days. We will be there in the first 24 hours to, again, provide a solution, get people involved who need to be involved to actually implement that solution, and get you and your business back up on your feet in a matter of hours, not a matter of days or weeks. Now, I want to quickly touch on creating users and assigning roles. Typically, these are enabled within the platform. This is something the business can handle. Is that a future feature coming?
Yes, it is a future feature. So initially, we will offer different types of accounts that we will set up for you as a part of the onboarding process. But as we continue to develop this platform and add more quality of life components to it, we are setting this up so that your internal IT team can handle that themselves.
So this isn't a feature now, but what you're saying is, even though it's not a feature now, Pegasus will set that up in terms of,
oh, absolutely.
Executives might have a different view, your admin or sales team might have a different view. That's still on the table. You'll just handle it for us, right?
Absolutely. We understand that just because you have access to all your data at a business level, individuals in that business should not have access to all aspects of the data. And so we've separated that into different role types that we will assign to different members of your team so that the right people are touching the right parts of the system.
Perfect. So seamless integration regardless of us doing it or your team doing it down the road with the built-in features. That is our final question today for our future features section. Once again, I thank you for your time and listening to what we have new and upcoming at Pegasus Ticketing. Have a great day.